And now let's talk about our module of the week. Let's bring in Martin Anderson-Klutz, a senior solutions engineer at Acquia and maintainer of a number of Drupal modules of his own. Martin, what do you have for us this week?
Thanks, John. I thought this week, since the topic of the show is Gatsby, it would be great to talk about decoupled interface translations, which really allows a headless application like Gatsby to use Drupal managed interface translations. So the module was created a little over 2 years ago, but it actually had its first alpha release back in October of 2022. Actually has no open issues currently, and currently is in use by 11 sites according to Drupal.org. I actually signed on as a maintainer last year because I've been involved in more and more headless conversations. And really the way the module works is it provides an API endpoint for headless applications to send strings for translations or overrides. And then it has another API endpoint to basically fetch all translations at once. And really it creates the ability to manage and translate interface text in a way that I think is kind of a differentiator in the headless CMS space. So it gives Drupal an advantage there because that really has been sort of a robust capability for Drupal for a long time. And again, specifically talking about Gatsby, there's actually a plugin called Gatsby Plugin Drupal IET Next that allows Gatsby to use this very effectively as part of its templates. And I believe you can actually see that in use as part of the headless umami demo that you can find online. So with that, maybe open it up. Anybody have any thoughts about decoupled interface translations?
I guess it's less of a thought, more of a question, right? So one use case I see for this, right, is like some text on the front end that is like, oh, static button text or something like that. I'm assuming you can send that to Drupal, have it be translated and get it back out for your front end.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's one of the things that's really powerful is in a lot of sort of headless application situations, it becomes very developer focused in terms of, those kinds of small bits of incidental text actually require a developer to go in and update those if the marketing department wants to change it for whatever reason. Whereas this kind of a solution allows for the marketer to be able to manage a lot of that text directly within the CMS and really allows the developers to kind of focus their work elsewhere.
So this is completely out of left field sort of question, but I'm wondering, like, Drupal has like the T function, right? Like everything you want to do needs to be wrapped in a T in order to be translated. Does this suggest or provide any sort of the same sort of function for your front end? Like, hey, wrap it in a Drupal T thingamajigger and
That's exactly the concept. So essentially, it's taking that sort of T function and even the ability to use that within Twig templates and sort of the coupled architecture for Drupal, and really allow sort of a Gatsby or even Next.js application to be able to do something very similar within its own templates.
Well, Martin, thank you for solving a problem that I'm going to have this year. Before I even knew I was going to have it. So,
great module developers do that.
That is true. We've all translated stuff, and and now we're doing it in a decoupled or headless architecture. So this is definitely very, very useful module. Martin, thank you as always. Let's move on to our primary topic.